No good athlete takes his mark or takes her mark without setting his or her eyes on the prize. What Paul was saying to Timothy, run like an athlete, be set for the finish. I'd say to all of you young parents here today, just totally enjoy your kids. Have a ball, be with them, spend time with them, get down with them. They will, one day, the things they are going to tell you about are not going to be all the things you thought were important. They're going to tell you about sliding down that slide with them and getting in the mud and going on that camping trip and all the mosquitoes that attacked you up there in the park. That's what they're going to tell you about. And you will never accomplish that if you don't set for the finish with your kids. Your children will grow up before you know it, folks. Make every moment count, because all of a sudden they're not going to be there. Just like that. You're going to wonder what happened if you didn't set for the finish at the beginning when you take your mark. When it happens just like that, you'll have a life of regret. And Paul here is invoking this metaphor. He's saying here, simply, folks, persist in training. Be set for the finish. Be faithful now in study and prayer. Get down with it. And when you get down with it, be focused. Shut out everything else. Know what you're doing. I love to be around a people who know what they're doing. You got the stuff, man. You've got the stuff. You got the stuff. Be set for the finish. And by the way, a word to anybody here today who has messed up. That means every one of you should be looking at me right now. Don't live with regrets. Folks, don't live with regrets when you belong to Christ. If your marriage broke up, look ahead. If you've gone to forgiveness is absolute. Don't live with regrets with your kids. My wife and I have cultivated a delightful habit, because invariably one of our adult kids come up and will say to us, you know something, Dad? When I was 15, you never came to that game. You know what I say? Oops. Oops. What you doing tonight, son? Do you know something, folks? There's nothing I can do about winding the clock back 17 years to go to his ball game. I'm not going to beat myself to death over that. Some of you are living under a fog. You're beating yourselves to death. You're living in the past. Paul said, I press on. I look ahead. I forget that which is behind me. Hold on to Jesus Christ. Be sure of our salvation. We must be set for the finish. And there's one more here, and I'll close with it. Run like an athlete. Be sound in our doctrine. Be sound in our doctrine. In the Greek games, these people had to participate in the competition to prove their worthiness. What Paul was saying here is, you want to be strong in grace, be sound in what you know and what you believe. Now. A weak theology will always result in a weak lifestyle. One of the reasons why some of you are cheating on your wives and running around and getting drunk and using foul language and backsliding and battling with yourselves and fighting with yourselves and fighting with everybody else and struggling in life is because you've awarded yourself the degree of a weak theology. You don't care about what you believe or who you believe, and you've said, it doesn't matter what I believe. If it doesn't matter what you believe, it doesn't matter how you live. We're living in a world in America today where we are neutering the population when it comes to gender. The more women can look and be like men, and the more men can look and be like women, the greater the accolades are coming from Hollywood and from talk shows. But God created male and female in His image, and so it is that God has spoken to us through His Word. He's given us our theology, what we believe and what we know about God. The fact that Jesus Christ is the Son of the living God, and that He loves me, and that there is no other way whereby I can come to heaven excepting through Jesus Christ. And He accepts nothing less than repentance and confession and trusting in Him by faith through the finished work of His Spirit. That's what God says. And God tells me I can be strong in grace. I'm going to take that to the bank. How about you? I am strong in grace. Paul put it like this: I am what I am by the grace of God. Listen up, America. God will not be mocked. He's not a head basketball coach. He's not an icon in a box. He's not a paltry pastor or a Sunday preacher. He's not a life group leader, and he's not a mommy or a daddy. He's God. Know what you believe. Run like an athlete. Compete according to the rules. Compete according to the rules, God's rules, and you will be blessed. This represents my greatest struggle. It represents our greatest struggle. Be strong in grace, my son. Be strong in grace, my daughter. May the grace of God be upon you, Paul prayed. You can do it, for greater is He that is in you than he that's in the world.